In terms of the code I was alluding to, this is the code for sustainable homes where new builders can build their houses to a certain level, depending on obviously their environmental credentials, but water plays an increasingly important part of this. There's a recently published water calculator, of which greywater and rainwater play an integral part. So you have that impetus, and you also have the change in the building regulations, or amendments to building regulations next year, where people, new build, refits are going to have to reduce the amount of water they use. So there is a latent market there, and the housing market is showing signs of picking up. So timing-wise, it's all looking quite good. And the UK domestic market is just the start for new build. You've also got the retrofit market, massive market. You've got commercial rainwater, commercial greywater. You've got gyms, hospitals, hotels. You've got the States, you've got Australia, China, a massive, massive market in China. A little bit of a hobby horse of mine, which I'll talk about later if you want, but a huge, huge market in there, Mediterranean, Europe, and each for different reasons. You have areas where there's water scarcity, and there's areas where, like Northern Europe, where it's more of an environmental factor. Now, the routes to these commercial and environmental riches is not so much paved with gold, more fecal matter. Being one of the initial technologies, we've had to set our own standards. There are no greywater standards, or there was no official one. So what we've had to do is we've taken the worst case scenario and used that as a basis for making sure that the technology does what it needs to do. In an average shower, you will typically find 15,000 coliforms, which are sort of bacterial or bacteria, and in the sorts of synthetic greywater we were trying to treat, we were talking at 600,000, so a factor of 50 or so more than we needed to. To do that, a bit of local input, Tiverton Sewage Works, primary treated sewage from probably some of you here, and diluted it, added some oil, added some shampoo, popped it through the unit, and at the other end you get drinking, well you could get drinking water, but that's a step change, probably too far at this stage. You get water that is better than the EU bathing standards. The technology of this, again, I'll have to go into individually at a later date, but an essential part to all this has been partnerships. Initially, because we are still a relatively small company locally, it's how to fund something like this. So we've used our links with China, a tooling company in China. They are now equity owners in the company. It's to encourage them to help to work with us, but they will also share on the upside. And it's an alternative approach that we're taking to China for this and other areas, industrial water treatment, waste to energy, bits and pieces like that. But there's an essential factor in getting to where we are. I pinched a slide, or a couple of slides from Michelle, looking at their drivers for new technology, overlaying ours on top of it. CapEx-wise, it's important, and the unit is affordable. Environmentally, we're looking at saving about a third of domestic water usage, and as a result, when you have new developments, the impact that has cumulatively on the local infrastructure is greatly reduced. Legislation, well, we've got the building regulations that talked about compulsory metering potentially coming in, British standards coming on, we're involved in the setting of standards for water reuse and water treatment. And operationally as well, this is a unit that's very, very low cost to operate. It's got a very small pump, so the CO2 required to use it is minimal, and it uses a bleach or a biocide to kill any chemical activity, but in very, very small amounts. You're talking about one or two, probably one bottle every quarter. And then, in terms of overcoming some of the barriers that we've had to get to, as you see on the left-hand side, from a client's point of view, track record, well, we've got a track record of water treatment, and we provide performance guarantees with what we do, and that extends to this as well. Robust supply chain, we haven't got a supply chain because we are essentially offshore engineers, have nothing to do with this market at all. Sector knowledge we've got now, a skill set we've got a skill set, whether it's relevant or not for the domestic market. Unlikely, some of the amounts that our engineers get paid is would make your eyes water. So they're not necessarily the best ones to be pushing some of this stuff. And cash, of course. A company of our size, a chairman of our mindset, lots of ideas. We can't fund them all. So this is all led to us partnering not only of a tourism manufacturer, but also now a commercial partner, somebody who can push us forward, distribute, sell, and market. And we're hoping to sort something out tomorrow, actually, on this front. So partnerships have played such an important role to what we've done and what we're doing. And then finally, just to look at some of the opportunities that are around for a company of such as DPS is the 3 Ps: pollination, polarity, and partners. In a slightly different order, but the polarity, the P I could get to involve magnet anyway. We tend to attract a lot of technologies, a lot of specific technologies, a lot of 1-2 man bands who through various contacts come to us, water related, energy related, and they have the technology and the understanding and the ideas, but they don't have a means of bringing that forward. Now, we don't necessarily have all the answers to it, but we have found that we've acted as a bit of a regional magnet. There's some fantastic companies in the area, and what we're looking to try and do is pull all these and then cross-pollinate, introduce them into different areas. Oil and gas, we've gone into water, we can go into all sorts of a host of different areas, and that's the important part of identifying these different opportunities that exist. And then finally, partnerships. I can't harp on enough about partnerships, how it's important it's been to us, but also it's the right partner sharing the same ethos, the same vision, and hopefully for a successful future. Thank you.